If you're planning a trip to Vietnam and wondering how to get there, the visa process, where to stay, the best places to visit, how to travel around, what the itinerary should be, and most importantly, how much it will cost, then this video is made just for you. Hey guys, welcome back to Secret Cubes, and this is Sagar. In today's video, we will talk everything you need to know before visiting Vietnam, and I promise this will be the most comprehensive video of Vietnam on the internet. We will also be sharing some useful tips and answering frequently asked questions towards the end of the video. So make sure to watch the entire video without skipping it. To keep things simple and easy to understand, I have divided this video into 15 sections, each covering detailed information you should know before visiting Vietnam. Without further ado, let's jump straight into our list of 15 things to know before visiting Vietnam. No doubt, Vietnam is one of the hottest trending travel destinations in recent times. Not only because it is cheaper, but also because it offers breathtaking landscapes, rich history, vibrant culture, and truly unforgettable experiences. No matter if you're traveling as a couple, with family, or even as a solo backpacker, Vietnam has something to offer for everyone. For starters, Vietnam is located in Southeast Asia, around 3,000 kilometers from India. It shares borders with China, Laos, and Cambodia. At first glance, you will notice that the country is long and skinny, forming an S shape on the map. Vietnam is often divided into three regions: North Vietnam, Central Vietnam, and South Vietnam. As you travel from north to south, you will find incredible diversities in landscapes, climate, and cultural experiences. We'll take a closer look at the places to visit in each region in just a while. But before that, let's talk about the best time to visit Vietnam. The best time to visit Vietnam depends entirely on what you want to explore. That's because the weather in Vietnam varies significantly from north to south. There is no right or wrong time of the year to visit Vietnam. For any given time of the year, there is always some part of Vietnam with holiday skies. So it really boils down to which part of Vietnam you should explore at which time of the year. If you still want me to suggest one best time to visit entire Vietnam, it would be between March and May, with April being the sweet spot. Now that we have decided when to visit, let's talk about how to reach Vietnam. Reaching Vietnam is simple yet complicated. A direct flight from India to Vietnam takes roughly 4 to 5 hours. However, direct flights are limited and can be quite expensive, especially if you're booking at the last minute. Most of the cheaper options usually come with a layover in Malaysia, Singapore, or Thailand. And this is the route most people end up taking. So if you're taking the flight with a single layover, it can take 8 to 12 hours to reach Vietnam. Flights from Bengaluru, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata are generally cheaper and well connected. On the other side, Vietnam has multiple international airports. The most popular ones are Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City. Depending on your itinerary, you can choose the airport that best fits your itinerary. On average, a round-trip flight from India to Vietnam costs around 25,000 to 35,000 per person. Of course, the prices vary based on the season and how early you book. For the best deals, try to book your tickets at least 2 to 3 months in advance. Now that you have landed in Vietnam, let's talk about the visa process. Vietnam is not visa-free for Indians, nor does it offer visa on arrival facility. You must apply for an e-visa and get it approved even before boarding your flight to Vietnam. But the good news is that the visa process is fairly simple and straightforward. All you need is a scanned copy of your passport and a photo. You don't need to submit flight tickets, hotel bookings, travel insurance, or even income proof. The visa costs 25 USD, which is roughly 2,200 Indian rupees for a single entry visa with a validity of 30 days. I have covered the entire process step by step in another video. You can check it out by clicking I button above. So let's talk about which SIM card is the best and where to buy it. Avoid buying a SIM card at the airport. They are usually 3 to 4 times more expensive compared to the market prices. Instead, book it through PhuQuoc or buy it from a local store. The major network providers in the country are Viettel, Mobifone, and Vinaphone. All three offer good network coverage across Vietnam, especially Viettel and Mobifone. On average, a SIM card will cost around 600 rupees for a 10-day validity plan that includes 3 GB of data along with free local calls. Now that you have got basic things sorted out, let's talk about the best places to visit in Vietnam. Vietnam offers so many incredible places worth visiting that it can be actually difficult to decide what to include and what to skip in your itinerary. Let's travel from North Vietnam all the way down to South so that you can decide for yourself what suits you the best. By the way, no need to note down anything because I have documented everything that I am mentioning in this video along with loads of other useful informations in my Vietnam travel guide. And the best part is, this mobile friendly guide can be accessed anytime on the go without the internet. Scan this QR code to download it or check the first link in the description box below. Starting in the north, the capital city Hanoi is the heart and soul of Vietnam. You can walk through the narrow streets of the old quarter, explore hidden cafes, relax around Huan Kim Lake, and check out Sun Temple. Visit this St. Joseph Cathedral, one of the oldest churches in the city, or catch a traditional water puppet show. Don't miss Train Street. Yes, it might be overhyped, but it is still a unique experience you won't find anywhere else. If you're interested in museums, visit the Temple of Literature, whereas the Ho Chi Minh's Mausoleum can be skipped. Whether you are a shopaholic or not, don't miss Hanoi's weekend night market. Hanoi is also a perfect base for some of the iconic day trips in Vietnam. Take a day trip to Halong Bay, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the 7 wonders of nature. Another must-do trip is Ninh Binh, often called Halong Bay on land. Enjoy a peaceful boat ride, visit the ancient capital of Hualu, or hike up to Moa Caves for a breathtaking panoramic views. To be honest, both Halong Bay and Ninh Binh are extremely touristy, but they are totally worth the visit. But if you prefer a less touristy place, then head to Sapa, situated around 5 hours from Hanoi. Sapa is known for its spectacular rice terraces, trekking trails, charming villages, and stunning views of Phan Xipang. Moving to central Vietnam, Da Nang is the coastal gem of the country. Here you can relax at Mai Ki Beach, explore marble mountains, visit the Lady Buddha statue, and watch the famous dragon bridge that breathes fire on weekends. You can't miss a day trip to Bana Hills. It's like an adventure wonderland suitable for all age groups. Just 30 minutes away from Da Nang lies Hoi An, one of the most romantic towns in Vietnam. It's known for its lantern streets, riverside cafes, coconut boat rides, and vibrant markets. And don't miss the evening lantern boat ride, it's a magical experience. Further south, Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon, shows a completely different side of Vietnam. It's the financial hub of Vietnam, fast-paced, energetic, and packed with history. Here, you can visit the Independence Palace, War Remnants Museum, Central Post Office, Notre Dame Cathedral, Cafe Apartment, Ben Thang Market, and Bui Vien Street. You can also take day trips to the Cu Chi Tunnels and the Mekong Delta to learn more about the country's history and culture. Ho Chi Minh City is best suited for history buffs or people who enjoy vibrant city life. If you are not particularly interested in either, then you can skip it and instead visit Vietnam's island paradise, PhuQuoc. PhuQuoc is perfect if all you want is beach time and relaxation. It's famous for its white sandy beaches, turquoise blue waters, island hopping tours, and luxury beachfront resorts. Beyond beaches, you can explore Grand World PhuQuoc or spend a day at Vietnam's largest theme park, Win Wonders PhuQuoc. I'll be making a separate video about the best places to visit in Vietnam, where we will dive deep into each destination. So make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon to get notified when I post that video. Now you might be wondering how to cover all these places, so let's jump into the itinerary. Since Vietnam is divided into 3 regions, you can visit them in any order, it doesn't really matter. Think of them as Lego blocks. Depending on the weather, what you want to see, and how many days you have, you can rearrange them in any sequence and the itinerary will still work perfectly. Here are some curated itineraries that you can follow. I'll be covering the itineraries in detail in a separate video. Till then, you can download our Vietnam travel guide, which contains a detailed itinerary along with loads of other useful informations. Now that you have the itinerary sorted, let's talk about how to travel in Vietnam. When it comes to transportation, there are 2 parts to consider. First, traveling between cities. Second, traveling within the city or to nearby attractions. The good news is that both are simple and can be easily managed on your own without the help of any travel agent. To travel between cities, you can take a bus, train or a flight. Since most travelers plan to travel between these 4 major cities, I would personally recommend taking a flight. It's not only the fastest option, but it is also pretty affordable. There are 4 major airlines in Vietnam, among which Vietnam Airlines is the best, whereas Vietjet is usually the cheapest but unreliable. Flight delays are quite common in Vietnam due to the unpredictable weather, so always keep some buffer time when you take the flights. To travel within the city and to nearby attractions, you can rent a two-wheeler, take a Grab or hire a cab for the entire day of sightseeing. Renting a motorcycle might feel like an irresistible option, especially to us Indians. But you do need to have an international driving permit to legally ride in Vietnam. While rental shops may not ask for it, the police will. The best and the most convenient option for traveling from point A to point B is Grab. Grab is basically the Uber of Vietnam. It's super quick, reliable and reasonably priced. You can book either a car or a bike taxi. I personally tried both and had no issues at all. In terms of pricing, the rides almost cost same as in Bangalore, sometimes even cheaper. For day trips where you need the vehicle for the entire day of sightseeing, Grab isn't the option. In that case, it's best to ask your hotel for a trusted driver's contact number, or when you take a Grab, ask the driver directly about the full day tour charges. Another easy option is booking a day tour package through PhuQuoc where the transportation is included. You can also check out this hop-on hop-off tourist buses. While they do cover most tourist spots, I still suggest sticking with the private transport. By the way, I have a small request. If you're enjoying this video so far, hit on the like button and leave a heart in the comment section below. Thanks for doing that. Now, let's talk about the stays in Vietnam. On average, basic stays cost around 2000 rupees to 3000 rupees per night, while luxurious beachfront resorts range between 6000 rupees to 10,000 rupees per night. While Airbnbs are available in Vietnam, I generally don't recommend them unless you specifically need a kitchen to cook your own meals. Hotels are usually more convenient, affordable and easy to find. If you're a solo traveler on a tight budget, hostels are a great option. During my trip, I stayed in a budget hotel in Hanoi to a luxurious beachfront resort in Hoi An, and I found that no matter which kind of stay you choose, it'll be totally worth the cost. I have listed some of the best stays across all budget categories throughout Vietnam in my blog. Make sure to check the second link in the description box below. Now let's talk about the language spoken in Vietnam. The local language spoken here in Vietnam is Vietnamese.
Vinpearl xin chào, welcome to Vinpearl Resort Gốc Nam Hội An.
Even though Vietnam is a popular international tourist destination, many locals are not very fluent in English. In fact, most of them don't even understand basic English.
What is your name? Name? Your name? Your name? No, he doesn't know English, by the way.
This is quite evident, especially when you are interacting with cab drivers, shopkeepers, or random locals you meet during your trip. The easiest way to overcome this language barrier is by using Google Translate. However, if you don't want the hassle of translating every single conversation, you can simply book day tours through platforms like PhuQuoc, where you can choose an English-speaking guide. This video is not sponsored by PhuQuoc, but I genuinely recommend them for booking day tours and activities in Vietnam. I have listed some of the popular activities in my blog. And don't forget to use the coupon code SACRECUBES to get an additional discount on PhuQuoc. Now, let's talk about currency. Vietnam uses Vietnamese dong, abbreviated as VND. 1 Indian rupee is approximately equivalent to 300 Vietnamese dong. So you can become a millionaire just by exchanging couple of thousand rupees. Usually, for international trips, I recommend using digital payments using cards. But Vietnam is a cash-heavy country. Many shops, restaurants and even small hotels don't accept cards. And even if they do accept cards, they often charge an additional 3 to 5% as a transaction fee. So you should have cash on you all the time. Don't convert your Indian rupee to Vietnamese dong directly either in India or in Vietnam. You will not only get the poor exchange rates, but it's also difficult to find exchange centers that deal directly in INR to VND. Instead, convert your Indian rupees to US dollars before you travel. Once you land in Vietnam, you can easily exchange USD to Vietnamese dong. Try to carry larger bills like $50 or $100 to get the best exchange rates. That said, it's still a good idea to carry a 04x card for places where cards are accepted or to withdraw money directly from ATM. Cash withdrawals are charged extra, but it is totally worth the convenience. Now let's talk about the food in Vietnam. Vietnam is truly a foodie's paradise. You will find everything from authentic street food served on a tiny plastic stools to beautiful cafes and fine dining restaurants. Whether you are a vegetarian, a seafood lover, or a hardcore non-vegetarian, Vietnam has plenty of options to choose from. That said, pork and beef are commonly used in Vietnamese cuisine, so make sure to double check the ingredients before placing your order. Some of the must-try dishes include pho, banh mi, spring rolls, sticky rice, fresh seafood, and noodles. And if you start missing Indian food, don't worry. There are plenty of Indian restaurants across Vietnam, especially in tourist places. They are slightly more expensive compared to local Vietnamese food, but for vegetarians, they are often the safest and the best option. A regular local meal usually costs around 300 rupees, whereas dining at a nice cafe or a fancy restaurant can cost anywhere between 500 rupees to 1000 rupees per person. Vietnam also has a huge coffee drinking culture. Apart from regular Vietnamese coffee, which itself is so good, you should also try egg coffee, salt coffee, and coconut coffee. They're absolutely worth it. I have listed some of the best restaurants, including Indian and vegetarian options, in my Vietnam travel guide. So make sure to check the first link in the description box below. Now let's talk about shopping in Vietnam. As you might already know, many global fashion and luxury brands manufacture their products in Vietnam. You can either shop the original branded products from showrooms at relatively better prices or check out those first copy at a local flea market. Prices are significantly lower and the quality is way better. So if you are planning to buy souvenirs for friends and family, Vietnam is a place to be. This is what I bought in Vietnam. DJI Pocket 3, a Nike t-shirt, shoes, clocks, lantern, fridge magnets, these cute little miniatures, action figure of Tanjiro, coffee, and a soft toy for my baby. Now let's talk about the most interesting topic of the video, the budget. So here is the honest budget breakdown for 8 days and 7 nights trip for 2 people. The round-trip flight from India will cost around 35,000 rupees per person. On average, the accommodation will cost around 4,000 rupees per night, totaling 28,000 rupees for 7 nights. Intercity transport will cost about 10,000 rupees if traveling by flight. Local transportation within the city will cost around 10,000 rupees. Day trips and attractions will cost around 25,000 rupees. On average, food will cost 15,000 rupees for 2 people. Visa costs another 4,500 rupees for 2 people. SIM cards will cost 1,200 rupees. In total, it will cost around 1,63,600 rupees for a couple for 8 days and 7 night trip. But if you are planning a longer trip, you can add roughly 4 to 5,000 rupees per person for each additional day. This should give you a high level idea of the budget. The actual numbers may vary slightly depending on the itinerary and the season. Lastly, here are some frequently asked questions about Vietnam. I hope it answers all your questions, and if it does, please leave a heart in the comment section below. If not, don't hesitate to ask your questions in the comments. Is it better to book a tour package or plan the trip on your own? This is one of the most common questions I get. Honestly, I recommend planning the trip on your own. Vietnam is not very difficult to plan or travel to. I have already shared everything you need to know in this video. And if you still have any questions, feel free to ping me on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to help. Which part should we cover if traveling with kids or senior citizens? If you're traveling with children or senior family members, I'd recommend exploring Central Vietnam and PhuQuoc. Can I find vegetarian or Jain food in Vietnam? This is the biggest concern for Indians, and I completely understand why. Finding a pure veg restaurant in Vietnam can be slightly challenging but not impossible. Your best bet is the vegan restaurant or Indian restaurants. What should be the ideal duration for the trip? It depends on how many places you want to cover. 1 week is sufficient for most families, but if you want to explore Vietnam thoroughly, 2 to 3 weeks would be ideal. Should we book activities in advance or after arrival? I would suggest booking the activities in advance. So you have one less thing to worry about during your trip. However, if the weather looks uncertain during your travel dates, it's better to book the activities after you arrive. Is there a tipping culture in Vietnam? There is no mandatory tipping culture in Vietnam. However, some restaurants and spas may expect tips, so you don't have to tip unless you are asked or you genuinely loved the service. That was everything you needed to know before visiting Vietnam. Hit on the like button and leave a heart if this video was helpful for you. If you still have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. Download our Vietnam travel guide by scanning this QR code on the left, or watch the entire Vietnam series by clicking on the right. See you in my next video. Until then, keep traveling.